Welcome to another IoT intro video. I'm your host, Ulno, and today we will talk about how to get blink on the Wemos D1 Mini. What is the Wemos D1 Mini? It's this device we have down here. And if you don't know anything about it, it's a microcontroller, but I talk in a lot of other videos about it. And so if you don't know, make sure you check out the videos like they could come up here to check my channel to see if there is more information about it. So let's get Blink on it. And Blink is actually kind of a very default software that you install first if you do build your first program for a microcontroller. So for this, we need the Arduino IDE. This is a very simple development environment for programming microcontrollers, including the Arduino, but also the ESP8266. So for this, you have to look at Arduino IDE. And then you have to go and download and install it, depending on the operating systems you have. I prepared this already. So what you want to do then is you want to start your Arduino IDE. And yes, we are already using the Arduino IDE version 2. You will find a lot of tutorials where the version 1 is used. So you should get something like this. Or if you have done something in it already, it will pop up the last project you had open. So then you have to actually find the right board. And we're not using an Arduino, we are using here a Wemos D1 Mini. And in the new IDE, you can just search for it. If you're connected to the internet, it will install everything you need automatically. So we type in here Wemos, and there we should suggest D1 Mini clone. So you need to use either here the R2 Mini or the D Mini clone. So we'll take this one here and say, okay, this is the board we want to develop for. Then we have to make sure that this board is connected to our computer. And sometimes you have to fiddle with the permissions of your serial port. If you're on a Linux or on a Mac, you might have to change something there. But in Windows, it should actually work kind of out of the box. So where do we get Blink? The cool thing about this IDE in the Arduino IDE is that there are tons of examples. And if you look at the basics example, there we have Blink. And you can read the explanation, but if you look at the code here, it actually defines a so-called output port. That's a GPIO, general input-output port, that you see it's the built-in LED here. And then we write to this port high and low. That means we turn it on and off. So, and then we wait a little bit and do it again. So let's try this. So if everything is connected right, you should be able to just say upload. And let's look at it once more. So before I uploaded it, the moment you see there is the LED and it's not blinking. So I will now press the upload button and then it compiles it. You see the command output down here. And then you usually forget to select actually the port you want to upload to. So you have then to go to Tools and select the port. And they will be called different depending on the operating system, but usually you should have an entry here. It's COM1 or something dev TTY. So I have to select the port first, and then we will upload again. See, it's uploading it. And if we switch back now, you see it's actually blinking it on and off. So this is a little bit boring. You see, we have a breadboard here, and we haven't done anything special to really make an LED blink. But so if you look at the description of the Wemos D1 Mini, you can actually see that this blinking is on the port D4. So let's verify that. And so I will disconnect this first. So I can actually also show you, we have here power coming from the wall. So if I plug this in there, it would still work. So this program is saved in the internal memory. See, it also starts blinking if I plug it in back there. But I take it off of power because I wanted to show you how to wire this now into a breadboard and play a little bit with the GPIO ports. First, we have to wire things to ground. Like this. And then we need power. And usually when we work with this type of microelectronics, we want to work with 3 volts and not with 5 volts. Only in special case we want to use 5 volts. And as you see, you have 5 volts here, and you have 3 volts on this side. So we'll wire 3 volts in there and go in here. And we want to set up somewhere an LED to test that this is actually working. So I will take the LED, set this up here. Take the resistor, and we will wire the resistor to ground, because when we set something too high, it means basically sending 3 volts out of the GPIO port. And then we need to connect the other side to something on here. But first, for testing that I didn't mess up again the order of the legs of the LED, I will just plug this now into 3 volts. And yes, I messed it. Oh no, I need to power this now. And let's see if the LED works. Yes, the LED works like this. And so, as I told you, that this same thing here is like D4. And you see now that they both blink. But you might see that there's something weird happening here. When the one LED is on, the other one is off. So maybe think a second about why this is. It's because it's actually the LED on here is inverted. But now we want to basically not blink that one, but we want to blink something on D5. Plug this into D5. No, it's in D6. So let's blink something on D6. So we switch back now to the code and change our code slightly. So we want to still do the LED blink in, built in. So you can basically, we create another output port. And we say we want to be on D6 here. So this D6 is not the number 6. You can also put the number 6 in here, but be very careful and look at some wiring schemes of the devices if you want to figure out which number here is. So we say D6, and we will now also write at D6. And do this high, and then we take this one and set it to low. Wanted to save it, so we don't need to save it at the moment, but you should if you make a lot of changes. Compiling it again and uploading it. That seems to be successful. Let's switch back, and we see we have basically achieved the same thing. I will do one more change and then we will be done. So I want to have them blink in that they are in synchronous. So I would say here low and here high. Then they should be blinking at the same time. And let's upload that. And there we go. And see, and now they're blinking both at the same time. That's about all you can do with Blink. You can add a couple of more LEDs and kind of try to do other ways of alternative blinking. But I think this should give you the basics of building your first blinking program for the Wemos D1 Mini. Thanks for listening and see you soon.